Mr. Mayor, my name is Mark Sherinian. I'm an attorney from Des Moines. As you know, I represent city manager and city engineer Terry Crawford, as well as Lisa Cook. And I'm here today to make our presentation on why both Mr. Crawford and Ms. Cook should be reinstated. That is the issue that is before the council, and I'll make my comments brief. I've issued a public statement that details why we believe there's been no legality shown, and why the investigator, Mr. Gillum, informally told us of his conclusion. But I want to make the points that are critical to how this city can continue to function, because it's critically important that obviously there be a rebuilding of the relationships between these three very dedicated public servants. But it seems to be revolve around a lack of communication. This entire public debacle could have been avoided had you and Mr. Kernan communicated directly with my clients. Instead, issues were raised. My clients were suspended without any explanation, without full consultation of the council, and in the process, their reputations were tainted because there was the appearance that they had done something wrong. Let me address the 3 or 4 issues that we were told were the major issues being investigated. One was this slanted roof prop house. This was a project that had been discussed, it had been publicized, it was part of an overall training program that the fire department was conducting. There were items in the budget. These were capital expenditures that were available, and it's been the practice of the city to not itemize specific capital improvements. In other words, each department is given a line item for capital improvements, but they don't have to itemize each particular project. This project came up, there was money in the budget, it was effectively pursued, and when the bills came before the city council, they were approved. Not once, but twice. Once in June and once in October. Questions were asked, but the expenditures were approved. And all my clients were doing were following the basic procedures that had been followed, that had been practiced by the city for a long time. Now they're being challenged or accused of doing something wrong for following those long-standing practices. The second issue that was raised had to do with Lisa Cook's transfer of 3 vacation days to Chief Snowden. He had run out of vacation, his son was about to be deployed, he wanted to spend some time with him before he left, and Ms. Koch, out of the generosity of her heart, transferred 3 days of vacation time. There was nothing wrong with that. That process is not only formally contained in the police department's contract, the union contract, but it's been a practice that the city has followed for a long time. Once again, if you and Mr. Kernan had simply asked questions of Ms. Koch, she could have explained them. And then there was the question of a raise that she received in 2017. That was something that was approved by the city council. It was a raise, part of which was originally allocated to Mr. Crawford. He decided that it was more appropriate that she receive a portion of that raise because of the responsibilities that she had taken on, responsibilities that normally would be the part of the city manager. That issue was discussed, it was approved by the city council, but it was also approved only after the city attorney had acknowledged that it was appropriate. And he found nothing illegal about it, and the city council approved it. And Mr. Kernan, you should have been aware of that because you were part of the city council at the time. But nonetheless, there was something supposedly inappropriate about that raise. Finally, my clients were asked about the hours that they did. These are salaried employees. They're not required to report their hours. They're not required to have their time deducted if they work 7 days one day and 9 days the other. Hours, excuse me, 7 hours one day, 9 hours the next. And yet, they were interrogated about this, and obviously they're, the city council, if it wants to, can set specific office hours for each of those employees, and they can be asked to keep those hours. But to effectively accuse them of not showing up to work when they're salaried employees goes way beyond any reasonable accusation. All of these issues could have been resolved had there been questions asked ahead of time. But there's something going on here that really needs to be exposed to light day. And that is that, Mr. Kernan, you have repeatedly attacked Ms. Koch for the last year. You've accused her of things that have absolutely no basis in fact.
Mark, I appreciate your comments, but we've reached the 5 minute.
Well, if I may, Mr. Mayor, with your discretion, may I have a couple more minutes? I need to address the most basic issue, which is why they should be reinstated. Not only is there nothing illegal about what they've done, but what's more important is that they need to be reinstated in order to continue the work of the city. And there are a number of serious projects that have to be completed before the mid-March, and you know all about those. But what's most important is that this investigation, which we believe is meritless, can continue. If there's some other issue, we've asked what they are, but if there is some other issue that needs to be investigated, if there are some documents that need to be found, all of those things can continue while they continue to do the work of the city. And frankly, we don't understand it. We've asked Ann and Ben what the documents are that are supposedly missing, documents that you supposedly looked for but couldn't find. We've asked what the other issues that still need to be investigated, and nobody has told us that. Frankly, I think it's a big stonewall. But what's most important, and I'm going to ask my clients to explain this, is why they need to get back to work today, or at least tomorrow. So I'm going to ask Ms. Cook to address that.
I'll keep it short. The biggest thing for me right now, and as you all are very aware, is it's budget time for the city of Denison. At the December meeting, which was canceled, I had the department head budget presentations ready to go, and they still have not been presented here. It's January. We now know what tax dollars are there, so now we need to start working and putting all those moving pieces together to get that going. We need to have the budget done and approved by council so it can be published before the first meeting in March, have the public hearing and approve it so it can be certified by March 15th. We don't have a lot of time anymore to get this done, and we've been off work for 3 weeks already. Terry has things that he needs to do for me to be able to put in that budget as well, and if we're not here doing those things, I don't know how you're going to get the budget done in time, and if you don't get it done in time, you lose tax dollars. If it's certified late, you don't get your tax money. So that's a huge issue. That's one of the big concerns for me.
As far as the city engineer's position, Doug mentioned the water problem on the street. That's exactly what we have going on 3rd Avenue South. It's serious enough that we thought we should repair it last year, but we didn't have the funds. That project has to be designed and an estimate given to Lisa to get into the budget so we can have a 2019 street improvements project. On 3rd Avenue South from 9th to 11th, and on South 10th Street, just about halfway down between 2nd and 3rd down to 3rd Avenue South. It's all broken up. We have an airport grant pending for completing the Crosswind Runway 1836 grading project. That grant is worth about $2 million, and as soon as the okay is given on that, I have to have plans done within about 3 weeks. I surely hope you don't want to jeopardize losing a 100% grant to the city. We don't have to pay anything on it. $2 million. North 10th Street resurfacing project, bids in Ames. on February 19th. I'm sure the Office of Contracts with the DOT has probably already emailed me asking me questions. They normally do when we have plans down there getting ready to be bid. I can't access my email. Avenue C patching and resurfacing project. That's not just Avenue C, it's 7th Street also. We have grant money available from the Region 12 TAC group for next year. If I don't get a project put together, an application put together for Chris Whitaker over there, we'll miss out on that, and that project won't be done until at least 2021. So do you want to answer to the people of Denison why Avenue C and 7th Street remains unfixed when we could have fixed it in 2020? I'll let you answer that. That's all I have for right now.